and it's looking very fallish. Leaves are turning. What is this again? Uh, I forgot what tree this was. I'll remember later. Okay, the sweet potatoes are they're still growing, and I'll probably dig them after Halloween. I'm going to be carving pumpkins this week, so. And Nana said you better start digging them. They're going to get woody, so I better do it when I can. Here's the big marigold down here. It's still blooming real good. And these tomatoes, there ain't much left for the tomatoes. There's a little one there, and there's a nice one there. These are yellow tomatoes. There's a nice big one in there. There's just a few left. And the Marconi peppers. This one's ripe. It should be picked here soon. And as long as it don't freeze, these are going to keep growing right there. And it's not supposed to freeze. I can see a lot of newer ones growing. It's not supposed to freeze until Weather Channel's got mid-30s about the 5th of November, so I got to keep an eye on that forecast. I like to have mid-November for once. There's a tomato that's all gnarly. Okay. And the old beefsteak tomatoes, they're pretty much gone. There's a few here and there. Poor beans. Oh, there's one right there. I missed the bean. I picked the very few that were around, and I made beans and potatoes with bacon and onion during the week, and I ate that up. That was good. And here's a volunteer tomato that's got, there's a nice one there. And a couple, well, there's only one there, so and here's a couple pumpkins that I missed picking. This one's all scarred up. That one looks like chicken food. And this volunteer tomato, it's got a good number left. It had a lot earlier in the summer, and then I picked them all, and then they all came back, so it was productive. Here's this caged tomato. Other than that, right there, it's dead. But the tomatoes are ripening on it. More tomatoes, volunteer tomatoes. And I got one nice looking pumpkin over here. It's certainly not going to be ripe next week for Halloween, so it's a nice looking one. And, well, 13 watching. I better be smooth here. Here's a caged tomato. There's a good number on it left. It doesn't get hardly any sun during the day. It still looks healthy. It's getting too cold for a pass. That the white flies, at least on this right here, are gone. So if it stays warm a few more weeks, it'll keep flourishing and maybe putting on little tomatoes before frost. And here's this tomato plant down here. I picked one off of it. It was about the latest tomato to volunteer. It was out of a squash pumpkin patch, and it managed to put on a few. And I picked one during the week. I got thumbs up already. Got a couple. Oh, there's some chats. A lot of highs and yo, everyone like this stream. Yeah, like it. Okay, and here is a flat Dutch cabbage. Starting to make head. This one down here doesn't get all that much sun anymore during this year because of these trees. If these trees manage to drop their leaves, it'll get more sun. But I don't know how much cold it's going to tolerate. But it may produce a head. And here's some smaller cabbage. They're looking pretty good, but how much cold could it stand? And I may have to cover them occasionally during the winter to keep them alive. 3 thumbs up. All right. Oh, there we go. I missed a potato. I got a volunteer potato really late in the year. There's probably a little, a small potato under that. I don't know what to do with that. And here's these tomatoes along the wall. These will be the last to freeze. They're blooming again. They've been all picked over. It's got some blossoms. They may make some tomatoes. These might not freeze until December because they're next to a wall. Here's this old cabbage. 3-year-old cabbage. It's growing some more. I wonder what this is. It's got some blemishes on it. I saw some caterpillar butterflies during the week, and I don't see any damage from them yet on these cabbages. Okay. Volunteer tomato row. There's a few tomatoes left. And here's this volunteer tomatillo. I'm gonna check them out. They got small ones in there. They just don't, they're not growing much anymore, the fruit at least. I'll have to harvest them pretty soon if they're not growing. These, what do you call them? Nightshades. Well, they're just, I think all the riper ones dropped. Well, there's going to be plenty of them growing next year. Here's another one that's, oh boy, those are good. Black nightshade berries. They're not poisonous. They're native to North America. So if you see them, they're not poisonous. They're characterized by a lot of, you see these holes in the leaves. There's an insect that just eats the leaves a little bit. It doesn't hurt the plant. And that's what they look like. That's how you tell when they're little plants, that That's what they are, nightshade berries. They have these little pinholes in them when they're little plants, so you know they're not a weed. Here is this bush Goliath. I picked a few tomatoes off during the week, and there's about 6 left. It's still trying to grow. And here is, I think this is supposed to be Mr. Stripey. I'm not so here. There's a few left. And this is a Brandywine with this one. Well, there's 2. This one's got plenty of wormholes in that tomato. And there's a real nice looking, that one's still growing. That'll be doesn't freeze, might be decent sized here in a few weeks. And I see this bumblebee. No, he's alive. He's cold. He's waiting for a little sun so he can go off and get some pollen. Get another shot of him. Things are getting slow in the fall. And here's another. Now these tomatoes, these so-called Mr. Stripeys, they end up having yellow tomatoes, so maybe the nursery messed up again. Here is this volunteer marigold. It's in full bloom. It's pretty looking. It's got some red in the petals. That's really nice looking. Here's a little avocado plant that I felt sorry for. I'm gonna have to take it indoors here before frost. And I sorted through my potted tomatoes during the week. Got the ones that were dead and I threw over there. And there's just a handful of tomatoes left on it. 21 watching. Okay. Late season garden, not much left. There's a tomato on this thing. Come on, where are you? This is that tomato that was in the carrot row, and the carrots that I got here in this row are almost eaten up. I put them in a stew every so often, and I'm down to about two pots of stew, and I'm wanting to be out of carrots, so I'll have to grow more. I should have grew some during this summer, but I think I didn't have any room in the garden to place them. There was just too much growing. And these giant marigolds, these are looking real good. Here's another sleepy bee. Are you sleepy or dead? He's sleepy. It's cloudy out. It's gonna take a while for him to get going today. Okay, what tomato was this? Oh, that's part of the grape tomato. Looks very small tomatoes. There's a few there to pick. I'm saving some seed on those. Grow them again. Here's this nice looking marigold down here at the end of the fence. They're just volunteer. They came in with, I put some neighbor's chicken manure in the corn long ago, and they're still growing. There's another marigold there. Here's this tomato that I tied to this sunflower stalk, and there's about 4 or 5 left there. They're about done. Okay. I'll go up here on these cabbages. Well, boy, they're just getting big. These are more the flat Dutch cabbage. These, like 2 or 3 down here, they're just starting to form heads. This one's got yeah, that's firming up. It's starting to form a pretty good head if the weather holds. It may get a sizable head here before. I don't know. I've never done this. I never had cabbage go into the winter here in Tennessee. And this was an experiment. I was just testing my seed. I planted some seed in, I don't know if it was like July, August. It germinated. The seed was viable. It was poor seed. It was plants that just died when it was blooming. And it made some pods, and there was, seed that wasn't very large in size, but they germinated. And I have a few cabbages now that look really good. I know Alaska is a big cabbage region where cabbages do well. I'll just pretend that it's summer in Alaska and see. I just hopeful they may do quite well through the winter. And if this works, I'll keep planting them I'll keep starting plants here in the middle of the summer and let them go, because these look really spectacular. But we do have winter coming, and here is this old bush Goliath. 1 tomato left. It's still growing. The foliage looks pretty good now. What's left of it. It looks beautiful. There's white flies on it, but I think they're starting to die off because it's getting cold. Here's a volunteer tomato plant that I tied in with the bush Goliath. A couple tomatoes left. Okay. Bucket tomato. Got one there, and there's one there. I keep watering it. Okay, those are those plants. And here's the pineapples. This one here, it rotted and it's dying, so it's gone. Maybe I should have repotted it during the spring. It was been sick for like a whole year, sick looking, and it finally died. And this one here is that top. This one looks good. It's the top of a pineapple that grew from this plant, and this plant regenerated, so it's and I'll have to take them in pretty soon. They're but it's supposed to be in the 50s for lows this week, so I'm not too concerned. But they're going to go inside relatively soon. Here's that big marigold flower, the single flower. It's still, there's some more buds. There's going to be some more off of that plant. And here's this marigold here. It's blooming now pretty good. It grew up against the shed here. I didn't take the lawnmower to it and left it, and those got some nice flowers. They got a lot of red in the petals. So it's got several more weeks here, so it's gonna keep blooming. Yeah, 24 watching. That's pretty cool. Yeah, the garden's really winding down. After, see these, I'm gonna take the lawnmower to it, except these cabbage and some other things when it freezes good, and chop this foliage up, and then add some chicken manure. It's going to be a few months from now when that's going to happen. Here's this nice, this was nice, a caged tomato. Volunteer tomatoes I put here. This is one of the best areas in the garden to grow stuff because there's sun here almost nearly the full day. It's got this big tomato left. It had a very successful year. We just need we need some non-freezing weather because it looks like it wants to grow some more, but its days are numbered. And here's just another volunteer tomato. It came in a squash hill. The squash hill's long gone. I think there's 3 or 4 left. I picked a nice big one off of it during the week. 30 watching. I don't know if I can handle 30 people watching. I was just going to come out here and do a quick weekly stream of well, that one's got an okay size tomatillo. Yeah, I don't know if I mentioned last week, this area was really grassy, and I chopped. It had I think I said last week, but the squash and the pumpkins were growing on it, and they died out, and I harvested them, and I chopped the grass down. This poor volunteer tomato's got there's a couple tomatoes there. The plant's dead, but I'll just let them ripen there. Here is these 3 caged tomatoes in the asparagus area. You see the asparagus? This one here says I'm still gonna bloom. Yeah, next year for Nana, I'm gonna definitely, when the asparagus come up, I'm gonna clip the asparagus off her to eat. This one looks kind of funky. I hope it's just because it's late in the year. Yeah, that healthy plant over there is dying back. So here is, I think these tomato plants here have there's blooming it going on again. 1 or 2 tomatoes left on them. Oh, here's some red ones I picked the other day. Or they did change that fast. And a tomato here. It's winding down. It rained a little yesterday. Just got like 200. Just got the top of the ground moist. It hasn't rained much since that tropical storm Helene that really messed up North Carolina, mainly North Carolina. North Carolina got it the worst, and then they're going to take a long time to recover. It's sad. A lot of volunteers are just being heroic, helping them out. Okay. And, we only got 4 inches. We got a slow 4 inches of rain during that. I almost was hoping after the fact that maybe we could have handled that rain better than them, because that's a steep mountainous area, and they got 20 some odd inches. If we would have got 20, there would have definitely been deaths and damage, but probably not as much as they got. And it was supposed to track through here, but it changed its track late in the when it was coming ashore, and it went further east. They had it tracking they had it pretty much tracking the center in Chattanooga for a long time, and then they moved it. And it's basically the center track right over here, but on the east side is the worst side of, and it came up real fast. It rained all week there, and then it added, they said it was flood stage in North Carolina and East Tennessee, and it dumped, I don't know, another 15 inches of rain in a short period, and it was a historic flood. So, and I think there's I think they said over 100 dead in North Carolina, and they still have a list of maybe towards 100 missing, and that's just awful to. If you had someone in that and they're gone and you can't find them, because it took everything. It took whole houses, and just during the night, and I watched a lot of footage, and it was incredible. It took creeks that were probably 20 feet wide and made them like 50 feet wide. It just took the soil and it took it clear to the bedrock. So that water must have been 20 feet, 30, 40 feet deep in places, going fast. So, okay, I'm got rambling about someone else's, tragedy. And I kicked my lucky gnome. The neighbors left, and they left their gnome, and he's here protecting my garden. Well, I'm done with Jim Miller's garden for this week. Thanks for watching. I had a good number of viewers today. I'm thankful for that. Nothing much to look at. And I'll have a few more weeks of this, and I'll do this next week. Thanks for watching.